Guys, welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some of the hardest drill moves of all time. I've put together a list of some of the shows and some of the moments in shows that I think have some of the craziest drill moves ever. And obviously, it's subjective. This is kind of my perspective, what I watched growing up, and then some of the shows that I've really appreciated over the past couple years. But obviously, if I missed your favorite show, leave it in the comments. Let me know what I missed. But how am I grading what makes a drill move hard or difficult? There's a couple criteria that I think of. Number one, the physicality. Is it hard just on a pure physical standpoint to run across the field while playing your horn? The second is the actual drill itself complicated? Is it hard to read? For example, if you were to go to stand on the yard line, it's very simple to go and find that dot, but it's really complex when you have to go and find 0.25 off or 0.75 off. And that level of detail, I think, adds a lot of difficulty and what makes something very hard in the drill world. And number three, what are they playing while they're moving? Are they playing at all? If they're playing something very difficult while doing very difficult drill, I think that makes the drill move way harder and gives it a lot more points in my book. So those are kind of the criteria I think of, but we're just going to take a look at some of the most awesome moments that I grew up watching, and yeah, let's just take a look. All right, so we're going to start off with the Bluecoats from 2024, very recent show, but I remember watching them live and I was just blown away with the difficulty and the physicality of this drill. So let's take a look at the Bluecoats 2024. Such a good closer. Mellows. Just huge curvilinear forms, always moving. You have to be really conscious of your spatial control and awareness of the people next to you. Here, just jazz running across the middle of the field while this huge line morphs. Super difficult. Amazing. Yeah, mind you, that's at the end of the entire show. They're probably so tired, so gassed, but they're playing loud as they possibly can, running across the field. Super difficult from a physicality standpoint, very physical as they come across the field. From a drill perspective as well, like those curvilinears are very hard. You have to really be aware of the people around you to make sure that that form doesn't open up and pull apart from each other. And then music-wise, they're just playing really loud. So overall, very difficult. One of the cool, like the most difficult things I've seen post-COVID for sure. So huge marks for the Bluecoats in the 2024 season. Okay, moving on to another Bluecoats show. This is 2017 Bluecoats, the Jagged Line. And Malik and Alan were both in the show, and they tell me about how hard this show was to march. It might be one of the hardest shows ever to march and play as a hornline member. So let's take a look. Mellows. Ugh. So good. Oh, I love those stabs. Yeah, they're already running right now. Oh yeah, and here's the follow the leader all the way around. Crazy. Fun fact, those are both Alan and Malik playing those screamer notes. Malik was the top one and didn't quite hit it. Sorry, Malik. I know you're gonna watch this, but you know what happened there. But very difficult all the way around. Now we're kind of bordering on the question of, just because it's hard, does it mean that it's good? Like, do they need to do all of that moving? They didn't sound like necessarily the best, and I think that maybe in 2017 the Bluecoats bit off a little more than they could chew, and they were just really ambitious, especially after year like 2016. But that move is very difficult. That follow the leader is pretty easy in terms of you just kind of have to follow the person in front of you, but the spatial awareness and control is very difficult. So very good. but there is some dirt in there for sure. Okay, now moving on to one of my favorite clips of all time. This is actually a rehearsal clip from the Phantom Regiment in 2007 when they were doing the Firebird Suite. And in their show, they're just running while playing, you know, the Firebird Suite. It's a Stravinsky, amazing, iconic piece, and they're just blasting their face off while running. And I remember watching this clip, and this is kind of one of the things that inspired me to do drum corps. So let's take a look. Oh, look at their heads. They're so still. There's no movement up and down. They're just gliding across the field. Oh, so good. So good. That and let's watch it in the context of the show. This is in their show. Man, they're just playing the mellow line, crazy. Oh, he missed the feet coming in together, but amazing, just amazing moment. That is just so like, it's just so physical. It definitely is way more physical than it is challenging drill wise, but musically they're just playing, and you can tell they rehearse that over and over and over again just to make it sound like they were just sitting in an orchestral hall playing this beautiful, you know, this beautiful thing. And I think they did that. They achieved it really well. Like, they sound great as they come across the field. So one of the most iconic moments drill wise ever. Okay, moving on to Carolina Crown. Let's take a look at 2012 Carolina Crown. One of my favorite shows ever. This is when they did their 3D rotating box. So cool. It's crazy that like humans can do this on the field while playing. That's just unbelievable. Oh, it's so symmetrical and so satisfying. Oh, they're running down the middle. And then amazing. Oh, so good. This was, I feel like, the year that Carolina Crown came on the scene and be like, this is what we do. This is who we are. We do that. And that was just, that hornline book, it's like top 10 hornline books of all time. Insanely difficult. So when you combine that with the drill that they're clearly doing, it's just amazing. Definitely, like, musical content wise, way up there while they're having to do all that marching. But yeah, that 3D thing is just so difficult. Speaking of 3D, this is the next year in 2013 when they won. They also did a 3D triangle. Here they go. They're setting it up. A pyramid, not a triangle. Yeah. Yeah, like, so cool. And then all these pinwheels. And then landing in the company fronts. So good. I mean, like, to be fair, they weren't playing during any of that, so there's no musical content there. But difficulty-wise, drill-wise, that is very difficult. And the people in the middle that are like kind of the tip of this pyramid rotating, they have to really run around. And it is a little funky, like it's not like perfect, but really ambitious drill and very cool. I love watching that. I think it's always really cool. No one really does that anymore. Okay, now moving on to, I have to include the Cavaliers. The early 2000 Cavaliers were like the dominant force in drill, at least. So I want to take a look at 2003 Cavaliers. Oh, look how clean that is. That's insane. Just the files, it's just so mathematical. Yeah. Oh, nice drumline. Yeah, all of these kind of... Oh, the rotating box inside the box. Oh, coming to the pause and splitting. So good. And then here we go. Boom. Dude, so good. Like, that is definitely, you know, it's super mathematical. So, like, let's talk about this for a second on a technical standpoint. Like, the drill is easy on a dots perspective. Like, I think a lot of cores at the top of the game could do that today. Like, definitely. It's just kind of, a drum corps has evolved away from that super mathematical look where everything is very gridded. It's on the yard line or 2 off the yard line. So it's very easy to kind of find those pinpoints. And if you rehearse it enough, it'll look like that. So that's really good. It's still really good, but I think drum corps has definitely evolved way past that. The drill has become a lot more difficult in terms of like how you read the field. But I think that is why a lot of people say, oh, I miss back in the day when drum corps really did drill and they really marched. Because, like, yeah, they really are doing that way more. And now it's a lot more choreography and more multi-level responsibilities. So I think it's definitely different now. But always appreciate back in the day the classic drill of like the early 2000s for sure. All right, now speaking of going back now into the 90s, this is Star of Indiana. This is like an iconic move. I actually haven't even like watched that much drum corps from the 90s, but I do know this show. So let's take a look at the Star of Indiana. Mellows. Amazing form. Oh, crazy. I love the rotation of that cross. And moving. All of these just like segments of lines, rotations, pinwheels. That's S tier. That's S tier. That's like clearly ahead of its time, in my opinion. That is so good. And just like the creativity of like putting the cross on one side, rotating it, adding all of these crazy lines, and then it perfectly fits into place. Just when something like that locks into place at the end, so satisfying. Star of Indiana, legendary, obviously. All right, now we're moving on to another legend, the Cadets. Now, this is from 2015. I actually just reacted to this, but I wanted to include this in this video because I love the end of this show when they're playing and moving. It's just so difficult. So here we go. Day One Brass is here too. All of these rotations. Mellows. And then hitting the 10. Power of 10. And the Z-pull. So good. So good. You know, sadly enough, I feel like that was the last great Cadets show. And it was so great to see them do the Z-pull and all of that stuff. Like, just an insane, just aggressive, like the aggressive nature of the Cadets back in the day was just so unique. And I feel like we don't get that. Even like the new Cadets, which is Boston Crusaders now, like don't even do aggression like that. That is just like so much power in your face. So good. All right, now we're going to take a look at a specific drill move, the company front, but specifically the rotating company front. I'm always a huge fan of this. I've always loved watching this, and we're going to start with the Madison Scouts doing this in 2012. They did a company front, and I always remember watching this when I was a kid. Here we go. So good, so clean, so satisfying to watch. You can see a little bit of spacing errors here on over near the 30. Great, and then just the company front, the legs look great. Yeah, I mean, super, super awesome. It takes a lot of practice and rehearsal to get that kind of move down. You know, it's almost easier to be on the outside when you have to make those larger step sizes as you go around. And the inside, you really have to take tiny, tiny steps. If you're in, some people aren't even moving at all in the middle, but very difficult. Let's take a look at another one. This one was kind of like a modern take on the rotating company front. This is from the Blue Devils 2022. Oh, I remember watching this first time and I was just blown away. Not only are they rotating, but they're also pulling out from the middle as it rotates, condensing the line, splitting the line. That is insane. Yeah, that is just so insane, because not only are you rotating, but you also have to start pushing in towards the center while keeping the farm so much. You guys have no idea. If you're, you know, at the Blue Devils, we used a lot of tape, like actual blue tape, and we taped down on the field. And finals week, man, it's just the whole field is covered in tape to make sure that everyone knows all the checkpoints of where they should be. But that move, super impressive from that championship winning show. Now, when I think of rotating company front, there's nothing greater than the Blue Devils 2014, their closer, when they did their company front. This is back when people actually wore plumes on their head still. So I remember hearing the story of, they got so good at this that they actually were cleaning the angle of their plume when they were in this line so that it was perfect. But let's take a look. Oh, this show is so good. Just the leg shape and just how they move and the release of the upper body, and then bang. That's so good. That's so clean. And then it pulls out. Oh. And it keeps rotating. Oh. Oh my God. Okay, watch the legs of this trumpet block rotating and the low brass pushing forward. Huge step sizes. That move. Okay. That's like the single greatest, in my opinion, like greatest like 30 seconds of drill ever. Like ever. That is so insane. And if you watch that back and you watch just how their bodies and their legs and their leg shape looks, that is the best moving drum corps I have ever seen. I don't think it has ever been topped. Just how perfectly in sync everyone moves, how smooth everyone moves, the leg shape to the toe point, all of that is exactly aligned. Incredible. Greatest moving drum corps, greatest like looking drum corps of all time still, and you know, they have the highest score of all time. So, hey, you can't argue with that. All right, now one more Blue Devils show. This is one of my favorite shows. Drill moments of all time. It's from the Blue Devils 2010. 2010. And they're just super satisfying to watch. Let's take a look. All of these rotating and the mezzo forte moving line controlled while you're running, so difficult. And then here, look at the legs, bro. They're flying. That's crazy. That's insane. Just looking how they're flying across while like it's unreal. It's unreal. Like, I feel like no one does that anymore. Like, no one does something as crazy ambitious as that. So obviously, put the biased comments. I know I'm a Blue Devil, so I love those shows, and this is kind of what I grew up on. But okay, our last video is kind of an honorable mention. This is not drum corps. It's technically drum corps in Japan, so DCJ or JNBA, whatever circuit that you want to call it. But this is from a group that I actually saw in person last year. This is from the Yokohama Robins last year, and I remember watching this in person. I mean, like, no one in DCI, no group in DCI is attempting the stuff that they're doing in Japan right now. And you'll see why. Let's watch this. Watch this. Listen to what they're playing. Rotating block, rotating squares. Oh my god. Look at the legs too, so good. Rotating blocks, pulling out. Are you kidding me? Guys, like that, if that came to the US and performed in finals, like that's like a top 5 drum corps right there. That's insane. If you guys don't know about Japan, such good groups. I actually write for a drum corps in Japan and a high school, and I'll be going there in a couple days. I'll be flying out to work with my groups. But anyways, guys, what do you think about drill moves in general? Do you have a list? Is there things that come to mind when you think of greatest drill moves of all time? Again, if I missed your corps, I'm sorry. I really kind of was just pulling out of my memory the things that I remember being amazing. So I would love to take a look at make a part 2 if you guys have suggestions. So leave them in the comments and we'll take a look at them at another time. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.